Hello guys, my name is Aendam and I am a Dark Age of Camelot Knight of the Round Table. So today I'm going to show you how to spellcraft. So the first segment right now we're doing is just how to level up, what to do, where to buy, things like that. So generally you want to start in a capital city. Right now we're in Jotunheim, but you want to start crafting in Jotunheim, Tiernanog, or Camelot. Why? Because you get a crafting bonus there, not only to skill but to actually how fast the items craft, which is very helpful. Now to start spellcrafting, all you need to do is open up your specialization tab. It's going to open up your trade skill tab. And you're going to go down and you're going to find spellcrafting. You're going to grab it onto the bar. You're going to hit it. You're going to left click it. Then it's going to open up another menu. Now as you can see, I am a legendary grandmaster spellcrafter, so I am currently 1,000. But if you start off at 0, you only have one gem generally, which will be raw. And it'll be orange, and you want to take that gem, you want to put it in your bar. Now you can leave this menu and close it, it's really up to you. Then you want to right click this item on your hotbar, and you'll notice you need to go buy some materials. So what you can do is go to the merchant. Now there's a bunch of merchants all over the place, including in every major city. So this merchant here in Jotunheim is going to be right back here. So we're going to pick up a low gem. We're going to pick up a Essence of Life, which is right there, and we're going to pick up one Draconic Fire. And that's it. Now, obviously, if you want to buy more, let's say if you want to craft multiples of these to try to gain skills, you can do a little trick. You want to click on the item, then you want to do /mbuy, and then you want to put a number. Now, you can only go as high as 100, so generally I'll just do 100. And you get 100 of the item. It's much easier and much quicker rather than clicking it every single time. So now that you have all the certain materials to make the actual gem, come over to the alchemist table, and you're just going to click it. Now at the top left you can see it started crafting it rather quick because it's a low level gem, and those usually are quicker. And it made it, so it's right up here. And this gem gives you 1 strength. Now each gem, as you can see in my menu here on the right, it gives you different skills. It gives you resist, it gives you skill points, and it gives you actual hits. Or not hits, stats, such as hits, dex, con, strength, all that stuff. And you can also add armor factor and things like that. Now, you want to keep making these gems until you level up. Now, once you get to once you hit the skill level 99, it's going to ask you to go talk to your spellcrafting trainer. And you're going to go over here. Again, it's going to vary in different realms or different places. You're going to see the Spellcrafting Master, you're going to talk to him. He's going to give you that last point to hit 100. So you're now going to hit 100. Now every time after that, so once you hit 199, you're going to have to go back and see him. Once you hit 299, you're going to have to go back and see him, and so forth. And so you get to the max. Now, that's the basics of how to actually just level up the skill. In the next segment, I'm going to show you basically how to use it. So we will be right back, guys, and I will show you how to actually use the spellcrafting line. Alright, so how do you actually use spellcrafting? How do you spellcraft an item? Well, first you need to do a couple things. Number 1, you need to get a spellcraft calculator. I have mine just right down here. This is what it looks like. It's called Quartz. I will link it in the description below. And this is how you're actually going to be able to spellcraft an item. Okay, so what this will actually help you do is craft a template. And making templates and spellcrafting kind of go hand in hand, because you're trying to min-max everything, and the way you min-max everything is trying to fit everything into the armor or weapon slots that you have available to spellcraft. So, we're going to talk about the Imbue Points. The Imbue Points, or the bonus points, are the amount of points you have to spend on the piece of armor, depending on its level. So, you see level 51, you have Imbue Points, you have 32 Imbue Points. Now, if I were to change this to level 25, and it also tells you your AF here, I only have 16 Imbue Points, or bonus points, whichever you want to call them. So it depends on your item level to how many stats, or how much of any stat you can put onto that. So let's just do level 51. Press OK. We have 32 Imbue Points. Now, you don't just have 32 Imbue Points. You actually have 37.5 Imbue Points. So you have a whole 5.5 overcap, and that's what's called overcharging you see at the bottom. And basically what that does is it overcharges the item, allowing you to get more stats and more Imbue Points on the item, which is great. But you do risk blowing up. Your spellcrafter does. So if you don't do your homework and you don't double check, let's say someone's order and it's past that 37.5 or even sometimes at the 37.5, you can explode. And you will not lose the person's items, but you will lose your gems. And you will die. You will respawn, of course, right where you died, but it's just a hassle. Now back in the old days, you would lose the item and the gem, so it was a big deal. Not so much nowadays, it's just kind of an inconvenience if you die and lose the gems. Now, the spellcrafting calculator is very useful. It'll tell you everything you need to know. So let's spellcraft, let's just template an item, right? Let's fill this up with slots. Now, one thing you're going to notice is, let's say if I put strength here, and let's say I put 19, okay? And then I want to do more strength, 19. You cannot put two of the same stats onto one item, so I can't do this. I just can't. That's not possible. You're not allowed to do that. So just as you can't put two resists, you can't put two skills, you can only put one. And by doing that, you change the actual amount you can do, but you can't put two of the same stat on one piece of item, or in one slot, because you only have 4 gem slots. So 2 of the gems cannot be the same. They all have to be different individual gems. So let's do this piece. Let's get up to 37.7. We can't do body. Remember that. Let's do dex, 19%. Let's do skill. Let's just say we're a scold. We're at 34.5, overcharge 100%. And let's do one more stat. Let's do hits. Let's see if we can get up to this 37. See how it says impossible? That means it's not going to happen. 39? No. 38? Can we get to that 37.5? No. And you really have to mess around with these settings to get that extra 0.5, but it's well worth it, let me tell you. Impossible. No, it's so rough. I can do 22. No, I can't. Let's bring this down to 7. Then let's bring this up to 28. 37. Ooh, it's still really hard. Okay, there we go. We are at 37.5 Imbue Points, the maximum you can do on a piece of armor, a level 51 piece of armor. Now, that's how you're going to spellcraft something in an actual calculator. This is how you find out what gems you need, what the cost of the gems are, and everything like that. Now, one of the great things about this is, let's say you take an order from someone. They're going to send you a report. I mean, it even has quick bar setups, but they're going to send you a couple reports. Now, generally, you want all the reports you can get. It makes it easier, but let's say we click on this one. This is materials. So this tells me how many materials I need to buy for all the pieces that I'm doing in this calculator, which is really good. So you're not having to buy multiples over and over again. It saves a lot of time. So generally, I ask for the material report, or people call it the MAT report. It tells you how much everything costs. So this is going to cost me 52 gold, 0 silver, and 20 copper. There's also a config report, which basically shows the min and max of each stat. Okay, and it shows you how close you are to the min and max, and this is kind of good for posting your template on forums such as Post Count, or sharing it with your friends. Like if you're really proud of your template, you're like, I really got as close to max as I can, pass it along. People love finding new templates. And then the final one here, which is the gems. This will tell you what gems you need to make, and what you need to make them. Again, this is all really amazing. The software is really good. There is another software out there called Loki. I have not used that. I have always used Quartz over the years. But again, this is something you need. If you're going to be a spellcrafter or just a general player, you need to have this spellcrafting calculator. So that kind of takes care of that. Again, 37.7 is the max you can put on a level 51 item. This will give you any reports you need. It'll give you their cost. It'll give you everything you need to know about spellcrafting that 1 to 10 items or whatever you're doing for that template. Now we're going to move on to resources. So I will be right back, guys. Welcome back, guys. Now I'm going to talk about spellcrafted armor bonuses in this segment, and it's also going to be covered with the resources that I have for you guys. So as you can see, I'm on my bot account. Now I'm going to pull over a link onto the screen to show you guys. So this is something you can find at darkagecamelot.com. It's a spellcrafting armor bonus. Now, one thing to worry about when you are choosing your template is you can actually add bonuses onto your armor by buying special types of armor. Now, you can make armor without any bonuses. However, you can get some special ones with, and these are the Dragon Swarm and the two-way armors. Now, the way you make those is they require special materials that you have to go out and get. But again, that's a whole nother segment. But the difference between these is there's no other difference other than the bonus and how hard they are to make. So if I go to my shaman, I actually have an example. So these are just Arcanium level 51 gloves. Okay, there's nothing special about them. It's level 51, and I just crafted this on my armor crafter. Now these are Ruin Bond gloves, okay, and these have a dex bonus cap of 5 on them. Again, the only difference between these is the bonus and how hard they are to make. This takes no other material. This takes materials just off the merchant itself to make these gloves. The studded gloves, you can make these with just merchant materials. You don't have to worry about anything. However, to make these special two-way gloves that have bonuses on them, you have to go out and farm certain items, and it's like Dragon Swarm armor patterns is one of them. You have to actually have a special tool to make them, and you actually can do that by you can do a quest to get that. So those are the differences between those two types of armor. People generally only make this kinds of armor, the TOA and the Dragon Swarm. So let's say if you were gonna go and make a template, that's pretty much all you're going to find. I couldn't even find any regular armor on the marketplace. You don't really have to worry about it, but it's definitely something to think about. You don't want to get armor without bonuses because you're just losing in the end. So now we're going to switch back to the tables, okay? And Dark Age Camelot has been good enough to put this little cheat sheet on here. So it's going to go through every realm and show you what piece can have what bonus. Earlier in the previous segment, I said that you could not put two stats on the same piece of armor. You cannot put two of the same gems on one piece of armor. However, if I put let's say I craft boots and I put 20 dex, and then this already has a bonus of 5 dex, it won't matter because that's not the same gem slot. So that is fine. So you generally want to take these into consideration when you're building a template, and that's why I bring them up. So like the head has 5 acuity cap for the Eris one, which is a place in TOA in Trials of Atlantis. The Volcanus ones have 5% the healing bonus. The Stygian one has nothing on the head. Now not every piece is going to have a bonus, okay? So you really need to look at the sheet for what kind of template you want to make. Generally, if you're a caster, the cloth, you're going to want the acuity cap, or the acuity, or not the quickness, the quick cap, or the heals, generally. And again, if you are a cloth wearing caster, for the body, you're going to want the 3 magic damage, or the 2 magic damage. You're not going to want, the melee damage because you're not a melee class. So look at these closely when you're making a template. It makes a big difference because, let's say you're spellcrafting 3 things, you can get another 3 additional stats. That's almost a full spellcrafted piece into your template. So very, very good thing to do. Look through all of these. It tells you what armor types and everything like that. So that's the different types of armors you can get, and the Dragon Swarm are just with, this came in with the Dragon Swarm campaign, and they look a little different. That's the only difference between the TOA and the Dragon Swarm, but other than, of course, stats, but, for the most part, they're the same. Now I'm going to bring up I think this is a fan-made guild website, Grace and Dignity, and this gives you a really good tutorial on how to spellcraft or do any alchemies. Let's say if you forgot a step or something of that nature. Now some of it is a little bit outdated, however it's still really good. Let's say if you don't want to come back and watch the video or you missed a step, I'm going to provide these links below, and this is going to give you a really good tutorial on anything that I might have missed or that you forgot. It also shows you what gems give what stats and what levels. So you're going to see an essence gem gives +1, +4, +7, all the way up to +28. And it's going to give you all the gem names and all the skills, and it has a ton of information. So a really good tool if you are a spellcrafter or an alchemist. Next one. This is another spellcrafting cheat sheet. It tells you exactly what you need to make. Tells you what skill it gives and all that stuff. It also has what like items you need up top, swamp frog from the wasteland, etc. And again, it gives you another detailed guide of how much everything costs. Hold on, let me reload this. I think it didn't load all the way. How much each gem costs, how much it resells, how much it costs to remake. Let's say if you blow up a piece and your gems, you know, it tells you. There's so much information, guys, so make sure you guys look at these links if you ever have any trouble. And the last one is another guide to alchemy and spellcrafting. They kind of go hand in hand. Again, this is outdated, but this gives you more information. The more information you guys have on spellcrafting, the better you're gonna be. Alright. And then the last but not least is a download link to Quartz Spellcrafting Calculator. That's what I use here. And it's free, you don't have to worry about paying for it, and I highly recommend you do this if you're a spellcrafter or just a player in general, because you're gonna want to have this when you make templates. Also, if you are a spellcrafter, you generally sometimes want to check people's work to make sure that it's not off too many Imbue points, so you don't blow yourself up and kind of waste your time and money. But that's really up to you. I wouldn't check every single person's item, but if something looks a little off, then you might want to check it. So that's going to cover this segment, and next segment I'm going to show you guys how to actually craft something, how to actually spellcraft something. So we will be right back, guys. Alright guys, so I'm actually going to show you how to spellcraft something in this segment. So we have our spellcrafting calculator, which is here. It's going to tell us what we need to get. So I'm going to move this off to the side, and it's going to tell me, I'm going to pop open a couple of these here. There we go. It's going to tell me what I need to buy. So we're going to buy it really quick. I'm going to buy 4 of everything so that I can do all 4 of these, or at least 2 of them, to show you guys how it works. So again, you can do this any way you want. You can click if you want. I click sometimes, otherwise I just do M-buy. It's pretty easy. And again, you can sell stuff by hitting shift and then hitting S when you're at a merchant. So let's buy these really quick. So pale, we need 4 of these. And I'm just clicking because it's really quick. So gems, we need 4. Raw gems, we need 4. There we go. Airy Essence. Where are you? Airy Essence, we need 12 of you. I'm going to M-buy. We need 10 giant blood, so we need 40 of those. We need 8 swamp frogs, so we need 32 of those. Swamp fog, I should say. And see how quick this M-buy stuff is? It's way, way faster. That's why I highly recommend it. M-buy 20 of these. That did not work because I probably didn't spell it right. There we go. Last but not least, we need a bunch of Essence of Life, so I'm just going to M-buy 100 a couple times. And again, this is for 1 piece. Oh, this is actually for 4 pieces, let's say. I'm buying technically for 4 pieces, but you guys can see it's rather quick, even with, you know, doing this. So now we need Vendo or ground Vendo bone, and that's gonna be right here. And buy 100, and we should be good. So let's go craft these up. Now, of course, we need the actual names of the gem, and it gives you the names of the gems. So we need an airy primal ruin, and you could just go to the ruins. Again, this takes a little bit of time. Airy primal ruin, we need a rough one. We're going to start crafting that. Then we need imperfect dusty shielding. We're going to craft 4 of these. So dusty shielding is going to be here, and we need an imperfect one. And again, I'm just clicking on them because it's pretty easy. And then we need a vapor essence jewel, and we need that. And precious. And then we need Did I forget something? Oh, I did, didn't I? Oops. So we can make this. Yes, we can. And then we have perfect blood essence jewel. Now, if you hit it when you're crafting, you will actually stop. So the blood essence jewel should be down here. Where are you, if I remember correctly? Blood essence jewel. There we go. And we need a perfect one. So you're just going to make all of these. Just like this. And we're doing this for 4 pieces. This is actually a rather big order. However, it will not be this easy to buy because you just won't. You'll need to buy a lot different things. Put it that way. Now we're just adjusting our inventory to get it correct. Now this does take a little bit of time, guys. It's not instant, so don't worry. But this is how you're actually going to do it. That's why I'm showing the whole process rather than just cutting it out. I want to show you guys about how much time it takes to actually do an order. Generally, you can become very wealthy from spellcrafting, and it's a great profession to do because everybody needs a spellcrafter. So I highly recommend it. But we just got to keep making these gems. Alright, and we have to go buy one more thing for this. Because we miss something. We're not perfect, guys. We're actually going to trade these. Make sure we have all our gems in place. Boom, and what do we need for this? We are missing 4 own gems, Iron Essence, right? Yeah, let's see, when you're not at an alchemy table, you cannot... Why did we buy 4 pale gems? I don't know. Probably messed something up, right? Airy, primal, perfect dusty shielding. Ooh, and perfect dusty battle jewel. That's why. That's why. Let's see if we should be able to make it. So we need a perfect dusty shielding jewel. Yep, and we can make it. Alright, now I'm going to show you 2 different ways that are commonly combined. How do you combine an item? And what combining means is that's when you actually put the gems onto the item and you would kind of infuse it, okay? So the first way is the most common way, and I'll show you that right now. So I'm just going to hand my bot a piece of armor. And we're going to close this up really quickly. And we're going to switch to the other bot. If I can get it right. Alright, so let's say this is mine, okay? I requested an order from Aendam. So I put my item in the trade box. Then what he's going to do is he's going to put 1 of each gem. Now, I only recommend doing 3 at a time as it has a bigger chance to blow up. Now, all you need to do is hit that combined button, and it's going to give you a little window here telling you how many Imbue Points you've used, your bonus points you've used. So I've used 32 out of 32. And everything looks good, so I'm going to hit accept. My bot will hit accept. Now you're going to see it is spellcrafted. Okay, now we're going to put the item in one more time. Just like that. I'm going to put the last jewel, which should be this one. Hit combined again, and you're going to see it's overcharging to 37, a 70% overcharge. You're going to hit accept. You're going to hit accept on your partners, your buyer's going to hit accept, and then that's done. You have now imbued or and crafted gems onto a piece of armor. It's now spellcrafted. Now you will see I have 22 dex on here, and I have 5 bonus dex cap. Even if this was a dex, even if this was you know, plus 5 dex without the cap, it would still be okay. You just can't put 2 of the same gems, and I'll show you an example of that right now. So let's say I want to spellcraft this again. Let's say if my customers give me the armor, he just says, go ahead and do it, hand it back to me when you're done. you're gonna right click it, then you're gonna hit the craft button, and it's already gonna have combine clicked. So let's try to put 2 of the same actual gems on. You can't put the same bonus on an item multiple times. Very simple. So we have to take that off. So if I'm doing this by myself, it's really easy. You just open up that craft window, and the combine's already hit, so you don't have to do anything but just add. And again, it's going to have the same thing down here of how much you're using. Hit accept. And you're going to do the same thing for the last item. Hit the crafting button. It's going to bring up the trade window again. And you're going to put your last gem on here. Now it's going to tell you you're 70% overcharged, and that's perfectly fine. You're going to hit accept, and boom, you are done. You have spellcrafted another item. It's really that simple, guys. Once you guys get the hang of it, and you have all the materials necessary, you can start cranking out orders like nothing. It's really, really easy. Now, once again, you can either have the armor beforehand, they can give it to you, or you can just do it in the trade window if, the person placing the order just is a little weary of, his stuff blowing up or whatever. So yeah, those are the basics of spellcrafting. That's how you're going to spellcraft an item, and hopefully this provided a bunch of information to you guys. If it didn't, ask me questions in the comments below. You can also find all the links for all the resources in the description, and I want to thank you guys, and I will see you out there in RBR.